guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoilery gush video for the Fallen Kingdoms series by Morgan Rhodes, consisting so far of Fallen Kingdoms, Rebel Spring, and Gathering Darkness. As I said, this video will have spoilers in it, but if you want to check out my spoiler-free review, I will link that down below. I also did do discussion videos, live shows with Louisina from My Reading Glasses and Marina from A Makeshift Library back at the end of 2014 because we did a read-along, so I will link those down below for you as well if you want more of an unfiltered discussion. This is the more filtered discussion. So I'm going to be going through all of the books and kind of my thoughts on it. It has been a little while since I've read all of them. I read the first two books at the very end of 2014, and I read the last book, Gathering Darkness, at the very beginning in 2015. The very first book that I read of 2015. So it's been a little while. I've allowed my thoughts to kind of settle a little bit, but I might forget some things, so feel free to talk about things in the comments that I might have forgotten, and I would love to gush with you. So the first book, Fallen Kingdoms, I really enjoyed. I didn't really know what to expect going into it. I know this is talked about as Game of Thrones light, but I have not read Game of Thrones. I have watched the series. I'm not caught up on the series. I don't have time. But I didn't really know what to expect when I went into it, so originally, all the character deaths was a little overwhelming. I wasn't really sure who was going to make it. I'm usually pretty good at predicting things when it comes to character deaths and plot twists and stuff like that. And with this series, you really can't predict that. And that kind of threw me off a little bit because you would meet a character and then they would die. So that was a lot to kind of process with the first part of the book. But this book, I really didn't know a ton of what was going on, obviously, because you just don't know what the motivations are for everybody. I never really trusted any of the Watchers and stuff like that. I never really liked them from the beginning. I also wasn't sure how I felt about Magnus in this book. If you guys have watched my videos, you know I love Magnus now, but I was never really sure about him. But Cleo stuck out as my favorite character in this book, and she still is my all-time favorite character. She's above Magnus, only slightly, but I loved Cleo in this book, and I could see the potential in her for who she's going to be, which is why I love this series so much, because of the character development that we are getting in these books and what that we're going to get, and I'm so excited. But I really loved her in this book. I wasn't a big fan of Lucia. I thought that she got her powers very quickly. I still think that. I know that she is prophesied as being like the most powerful sorceress of all time and all this kind of stuff. I just felt like the magical abilities came on a little too quickly for my liking. It felt a little too special snowflake for me. I have hopes that other people in the series will end up having magical abilities, i.e. Cleo and Magnus. But in the first book, I wasn't really keen on her. I also wasn't very keen on Jonas. I was really mad at Jonas for being mad at Cleo when she didn't do anything. Obviously, we know in her head how she's feeling, so we kind of side with her a little more than he would, who is really against royalty and everything else. But Aaron killed your damn brother, so stop acting like it was Cleo who you want to kill so much. It's really just like, he had a lot of sexual tension with her, I think, even from the get-go, so he was kind of pushing that onto her in this like hate thing because he had a crush on her. It's no excuse, but I think that's why he did it. I really hated the insta-love that went on between Theon and Cleo in this book, though. I hate insta-love, and I felt that that was insta-love. I don't think it was supposed to feel like insta-love because they were together for a while, just being around each other for months and such, but we didn't really get to see that as readers, so it felt very insta-lovey to me. And I kind of wanted Magnus and Cleo together from book one. Yeah. I know that he kills her love. Doesn't matter to me. Also with the magic beans, this is one of my crackpot theories that like no one I tell this to believes me, but I don't think that Amelia is dead. I don't think Cleo's sister is dead. She put the magic beans in her mouth, which sounds really weird. Don't take it there. And they were glowing, and I don't think that she's dead, because in the rest of the books we don't really get mention of like a funeral ceremony or anything like that, or like what happened. I know the castle's being taken over, but I just don't think that she's dead. I think that there would have been some like really big ceremony with how the king is trying to portray everything. So one of my crackpot theories is that Amelia is not dead and will make an appearance in the last half of the series. So if that happens, I'm gonna point out this video and I'm gonna tell everybody that I knew it was coming. If it doesn't happen, I still will think it happened in my head. So this book, I liked it a lot. I saw the potential for the rest of the series. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, but I was still really interested in what was going to go on from then on out. I thought Rebel Spring was even better, and this is when all of these ships kind of start happening for me in my head the most. This is when we start to get a lot of interaction between all the other characters. I still really didn't like Lucia. Lucia is my least favorite character in this entire series. I just don't like her. I think that she needs to develop a lot for me to like her. I just don't like where she's going. I don't like how snotty she is. I feel like she makes a lot of dumb decisions. I feel like she shouldn't be rooting with the people that she knows now kidnapped her as a child. She shouldn't be kind of in cahoots with them. She shouldn't be okay with her dad doing all the things that he does, and she's she doesn't feel very sympathetic to me as a character. Hopefully that will change. I have hope for that because, again, really long series, but not a fan of her. I started to like Jonas a lot more in this book. Felt really bad for him because every time that they do anything, King Gaius just stamps them out like an ant under his thumb. I mean, the rebels can't do anything, and that made me feel really bad for them. I also really kind of started shipping Jonas and Cleo, only temporarily, because my OTP of this series is definitely Magnus and Cleo, and that started just growing within this book as well. But I really did like that kind of relationship, and just the banter. All the banter in this book and this series they're just so good, and all the characters are like kind of snotty and bratty, and they're just witty. It's great. So I really liked that in this book. I like that we're still uncovering even more stuff within what's happening with the Watchers and everything else, and Gaius and everything started to kind of come together a little more in this book. Still not really sure what to think, but at the very end of this book, when Cleo was like, I'm gonna team up with Lucia and kind of manipulate her, that was the Cleo that I wanted from book 1. I was so excited at the end of this book to see what happened in book 3. The character development, again, spot on, again with Cleo, my baby, my precious baby, who I want to protect with my life. Now let's talk about the wonderfulness that is Gathering Darkness. Again, best book of the series thus far. Loved it so much. Probably because my two favorite characters in this series, as I said before, are Cleo and Magnus, and I felt like a lot of the book focused on Cleo and Magnus, and that was beautiful and wonderful, and I loved it so much. I like that this book kind of set up all of them sort of working together, and kind of fizzled out some of the people that aren't going to be around anymore. Again, kind of cut off those loose ends with the Watchers and stuff. I wasn't expecting a lot of that stuff to happen, so that was really crazy. Again, I'm holding out hope for other people within the series to have magical abilities. I'm kind of really hoping for Lucia and Cleo to kind of mirror the goddesses in a way. Like, I want them to kind of be another representation of those goddesses. I think that would be so awesome. I really did like their friendship, and I'm sad that the friendship kind of fizzled, but I do think that Cleo genuinely did want to be friends with Lucia at a point. She originally went into it to manipulate her, but again, I feel like Cleo is a very lonely person, and she has a lot in common with Lucia, honestly, so I really want to see more of that, and I love the Cleo Magnus stuff in here. Oh my god. I cannot wait to reread this book and tab some things that Magnus thought, because he's such a tortured soul, and I loved a lot of it. It's been a couple months since I've read this, and I'm already still like, oh, like I still remember some of the things he said and how my heart stopped beating because I loved it so much. So those are my two favorite characters, Magnus and Cleo, forever. I cannot wait to see the development with that and where that goes in the next books in the series. Also, now that all the shit has officially hit the fan and all the like elementals and stuff are going to make an appearance, to me the elementals feel a lot like Titans from Greek mythology, and the Titans F shit up. So I'm pretty pumped about that, and I cannot wait to see what happens with that, because it is going to get worse before it gets better, I'm sure. So I cannot wait to see where that goes. And we still don't know everything that's going on, and it's just craziness, and I can't wait. And my precious babies. You didn't know it was coming for you in book 1, and now look what happened. My only complaint about this book was that the Crasians felt a little flat to me, but I think they're going to make even more appearances in the next books, so I'm interested to see kind of where they go and how they impact the rest of the story. So I definitely gave Gathering Darkness 5 out of 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. Cannot wait for the next book. The next book title was recently released. For those of you that don't know, it is Frozen Tides. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. And the spin-off series is coming out in June, I believe, and the first book is the Book of Spirits and Thieves, I think is how it is. I will put it down here if that's not correct, but I'm really looking forward to that as well. The fact that we're going to get so much in this world is so exciting. I love long series like that. I just think they're amazing, and I cannot wait for all the development. As I said, we're going to get these characters and where they're going to go and what's going to happen with them. I love it so much. I'm so excited. Alright guys, that is it for my Gush video. Comment down below and let me know what you think of the series and kind of some of the theories that you have. We can kind of talk and commiserate until the next book comes out in the series, and then we can gush and flail over that one as well. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!